I moved in last Thursday. The apartment was cheap, almost suspiciously cheap, but I didn't question it. I needed out of the city. Something quieter. Cleaner. Less crowded. The place itself isn't bad. Scuffed hardwood, old cabinets, a little mildew smell I figured would fade with time. What sold me was the silence. No traffic noise, no sirens, no neighbors stomping around. Well, almost. Around midnight, on that first night, I heard furniture dragging upstairs. Slow, heavy scraping, like someone was sliding a dresser across the floor. I assumed someone else was moving in too. I found it comforting at first. Like I wasn't alone. Like there was life above me. But the office told me Unit 6, the apartment above mine, has been vacant for months. The dragging sound came again the next night. Same time. Midnight sharp. At first, I convinced myself it was pipes. Or maybe heat expanding the floorboards above me. But pipes don't move in straight lines. And floors don't pause mid-scrape, then continue again. Slower. I tried recording it on my phone. Of course, the moment I hit record, it stopped. Dead quiet. Not even wind. When I played it back later, I swear there was breathing under the silence. Shallow. Labored. Like someone crouched just above my ceiling. By the third night, I could trace it. The movement started near the far wall and dragged across the ceiling toward my bed. Then it would stop. 4 hours. Just stop. But I knew it was still there. I could feel it. Some pressure just above my skull, like something waiting directly above me. Every night, it gets a little closer. Last night, I snapped. Around midnight, the dragging started again, same slow rhythm, same pause near my bed. But this time, I was already standing on my mattress, palm pressed flat against the ceiling like I could somehow touch whoever, or whatever, was above me. I knocked. 3 firm taps. Immediately, everything went still. I held my breath. Waited. Then, 3 taps back. Not echoes. Not vibration. Replies. I staggered off the bed, suddenly freezing. I didn't know whether to laugh or scream. I didn't sleep. Just sat on the couch all night, lights on, staring at the ceiling, daring it to move again. It didn't. But now I know 2 things. Something is up there. It knows I'm down here. I called the building manager this morning. Asked again about Unit 6. Still vacant. Still locked. He offered to let me check for myself. I said yes. Tomorrow, I'm going upstairs. I went up just before noon, while the sun was out and my nerves were still steady. The manager unlocked the door to Unit 6 and handed it to me like it was nothing. Feel free to look around, he said. Just dusty and empty. He wasn't wrong. The place was bare, no furniture, no curtains, no signs of life. Just an echo and a thin coat of dust across the floor. I walked slow, half expecting something to leap out. But it was quiet. Too quiet. I checked the corner directly above my bed downstairs. The floor there had a long, faint scrape in the wood, like something heavy had been dragged, over and over, in the exact same pattern. I ran my fingers over it. Cold. Deeper than I expected. No footprints in the dust. No bugs. No rats. Just that single drag line. I left quickly. Locked the door behind me. But the worst part? When I got back to my unit, there was fresh dust on my ceiling. Directly above my bed. That night, I didn't even try to sleep. I lay still in bed, staring up at the ceiling like it might blink back. At exactly 12 a.m., the dragging started again. But this time, it stopped halfway. And then I heard it. The breathing. Closer. Heavier. It was no longer just above me, it was in rhythm with my own breath. Inhale when I inhaled. Exhale when I didn't. Like it was waiting to see if I'd notice. I whispered, "What do you want?" "Nothing." And then, a thud. Right above me. Like a body dropping, or kneeling. I bolted upright and turned on the light. Ceiling looked normal. No cracks. No marks. But in the silence, I swear I heard a voice. Not through the ceiling, but inside my room. "You opened the door. I haven't touched Unit 6 since. I keep dreaming I never closed it." This morning, I woke up to something off in my apartment. The air was colder, like the heat hadn't kicked on. My bed felt heavier, like something had settled at the foot of it during the night. But what really shook me was the chair. A wooden chair sat in the corner of my room. Old. Splintered. Like it belonged in an attic. I don't own a chair like that. I don't have anything like that. I touched it. It was warm. When I checked my door, it was still locked. Windows too. No signs of a break-in. The chair is still sitting there now, just in the corner, like it's watching. I called the manager again. Told him someone might have snuck in. He brushed it off. "I told you," he said. "No one's in Unit 6. But when I hung up, I heard something creak above me. Another chair? Last night, I packed a bag and went to my friend Jenna's place across town. I didn't tell her everything, just said my apartment was giving me the creeps. I slept on her couch. No noises. No breathing. No dragging. For the first time in a week, I actually slept. But when I woke up, I had splinters in my palm. Tiny, fresh ones, like I'd gripped something rough. Like wood. Jenna doesn't have any wooden furniture. I checked my bag. Everything looked normal, except for the faintest smell of dust. Like old floorboards or attic air. I told myself I was imagining it. But when I got home, the chair in the corner had moved. Just a few inches. Facing the bed now. There's a long scrape mark beneath it, like it dragged itself forward. I don't think it liked that I left. Last night, I tried ignoring the sounds. I put in earplugs, turned on white noise, covered the chair with a blanket. None of it worked. At midnight sharp, I woke up, not from sound, but from pressure. Like something was pressing down on my chest, rooting me to the bed. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. All I could do was stare at the ceiling, and it was pulsing. Swelling outward like something was breathing through it. Then the chair creaked. Just once. And even with the blanket covering it, I could see it swaying, ever so slightly, as if someone had just stood up. When I finally broke free and turned on the light, the chair was empty. Still. Silent. But now, there's something new. On the ceiling above me, faint but visible in the right light, a handprint. Upside down. Finger spread. Like it had been watching, waiting, hanging there. It's not just the ceiling anymore. Last night, the dragging sound started late, closer to 2 a.m. this time. But it wasn't above me. It was inside the walls. It moved in bursts. Across the living room. Down the hall. Behind the drywall. Like something huge, but careful. Like it was tracing the perimeter of my space, learning it. I pressed my ear against the wall, half hoping it was just mice or pipes or something explainable. But what I heard wasn't scurrying or water. It was whispering. Not words. Just a low, rhythmic hiss, like something trying to imitate a voice without lungs. I backed away, heart pounding. And then, just as I reached for the light, Something tapped from inside the wall. 3 times. Like it was knocking back. Last night, I had the worst dream of my life. I was standing in Unit 6, but it wasn't empty anymore. The walls were covered in claw marks, like something had been pacing in circles for years. The chair was there too, in the same spot as mine, but upside down on the ceiling, like gravity had reversed. I could hear breathing, not around me, but inside me. In the dream, I sat down in the chair. As soon as I did, I couldn't move. My arms were heavy. My mouth wouldn't open. I was staring at the floor, at my bedroom, directly below. I could see myself, sleeping, and something else standing over me. When I woke up, I was sitting upright in my bed, hands folded in my lap, feet flat on the floor. Like I'd been placed there. The chair in the corner was back where it started. Facing me again. I started recording audio at night. Not video, just sound. I left my phone on the dresser and let it run while I tried to sleep. The next morning, I scrubbed through hours of static and faint creaks. Around 3:17 a.m., I heard something new. A voice. Female. Distant. Echoing like it was inside a metal pipe. "You're almost ready." I froze. The voice didn't sound human. It was hollow. Like someone trying to remember how words are supposed to sound. Then came breathing. Right next to the mic. And another voice, my voice. I know. But I didn't say that. I was asleep. I checked the timestamp, I was dead still in bed the whole time. I replayed it over and over. The vent above my bed was rattling slightly this morning. Just enough to notice. I stood on my mattress and unscrewed the cover. There was nothing inside. Except the wooden arm of a chair. I didn't sleep last night. I couldn't. I sat on the couch with every light on, staring down the hallway. I kept telling myself, just one more night. Just make it to sunrise. At 2:41 a.m., I heard it again. But not from the ceiling. This time, it came from inside the room. The sound of wood creaking under weight. I turned my head slowly. The chair, my chair, wasn't empty. There was a figure sitting in it. Shadowed. Still. I couldn't see a face, only long hair falling over its shoulders and hands resting calmly on its knees. It didn't move. It just watched me. I blinked, and it was gone. The chair was empty again. But something remained in the air, thick, electric. Like the moment before lightning hits. This morning, I found something carved into the backrest of the chair. 5 words. You opened the door below. I didn't remember opening anything. But those words, you opened the door below, kept repeating in my head all day. Like an infection behind my eyes. I tore through my apartment looking for something. Anything that could be a door. That's when I remembered the crawl space in the closet. I had never opened it. Just a square of drywall in the floor, half covered by an old rug. I pulled it back. There was a handle. And below it, stairs. I don't live in a basement unit. The building manager never mentioned a sublevel. No one ever said there was anything beneath my apartment. I stood at the top of the stairs for a long time. Cold air spilled up, thick and metallic, like rusted metal and old breath. At the bottom, I saw a faint light. And something waiting in a chair. Facing up. Smiling. I woke up this morning in my bed. Chair still in the corner. Ceiling still cracked. Everything exactly the same. Except, it's not. When I move, it doesn't feel like me moving. My hands respond, but slower. Heavier. My reflection smiles before I do. I tried leaving the apartment. But when I opened the front door, there were stairs. Leading up. I walked them in a daze, dizzy, cold. At the top was Unit 6. Not empty anymore. The walls were covered in mirrors. All of them reflecting me, not how I look now, but how I looked yesterday. And last week. And before I moved in. Pieces of me, frozen. The chair was waiting in the center of the room. Facing down. I think I'm supposed to sit now. I think I've always lived upstairs. I just didn't know. I was the noise below.